Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a nice simple Valentine's Day look. Of course, this kind of consists of a nice smoky eye, but with some color. Of course, we have add some glitter, some nice lashes, a nice glossy lip, and of course, nice skin. So, if you're ready for Valentine's Day and you're ready to get a simple, quick date night look like this, then keep on watching. Okay, so for today we're going to be playing with a little bit of color. So I'm starting off with my eyes first. I'm going to be dipping into the Morphe and Jeffree Star palette because of course we're doing a Valentine's Day look today. So I want like pink, very flirty, but still very wearable. I'm going to use this palette here because I feel like we have a range of color. So we'll be able to really like play with something. I'm going to first start off by putting some concealer on my lid. Now, normally I would use some eye primer, but since we're using color, I want it to pop a little bit more. So I feel like using a concealer is really going to help make everything pop and make everything look really pretty. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Stay Naked. I use the shade 50WY. I'm going to start off with one eye. So of course this concealer is nice and light, so I feel like the color payoff will be a lot better. With my Morphe M433, I'm going to grab the shade My right here. Actually, let me pull you guys a bit closer. Now we're nice and close. Like I was saying, I'm going to dip into the shade My. I'm going to dip into the shade My right here, which is like a nice light pink. So I'm going to use that as our transition shade. So I'm going to pack a little bit on here. Then I'm glad that the Jeffree Star palette has a mirror because I feel like you always need a mirror. Fill that into my crease. Of course, this is, you know, a lot lighter, but we're going to, of course, deepen it later. Now notice with the concealer, I did not set it. So that's because I want maximum color payoff. I feel like you can barely see it because it's a lot lighter, but this is going to act as my transition shade, so it's going to make blending everything else, like the darker colors, a lot easier. I'm not going to grab just this Wet n Wild crease brush. So this already has some pink at the top, which is nice because it comes like that. But I'm going to now dip into Self-Made right here, the nice bright pink. We're just going to go right for it. So I'm going to, of course, saturate my brush. So I'm going to go right on top of the shade My with the shade Self-Made. This can turn pretty bubblegum pinky really quickly, but we're going to fix that, of course, by deepening it with a darker shade. So of course this is a Valentine's Day look, so we still want it to be nice and wearable, so we don't want to go too bold or too extreme, or maybe you do. I don't know. I really don't. But you can if you want to. So I think we've built up that color enough. In the Jeffree Star palette, I don't really have like a darker pink to work with. So I'm actually going to switch over into the Morphe 35M palette. And I'm going to grab this shade right here. That shade is called Sweet Beets. Now it is like it's a darker kind of like beet pink, which I feel like is going to complement the pink here. Because like I said, I don't want it to turn very bubblegum pink. That's not the look that I'm going for. I want this look to be very wearable, very sultry, very pretty. So I'm going to take my JH40 brush, my nice small detail brush, and I'm going to dip in the shade Sweet Beets. I'm going to put that right in here. I'm going to put that color right in here, and that's going to help deepen everything up a little bit. So I always like to drag my shadow out a little bit more. And of course this looks just like hot messy right now, but that's because I'm using a small brush because I really want the color to be placed where I want it. I'm just going to pick up the shade Sweet Beets a little bit and kind of pack and blend at the same time. Now that I have the color where I want it, I'm going to pack it a little bit heavier and blend it the way I want it. So that's coming together a little bit easier. So we still have that nice soft pink element, but now we're able to make it a little bit more sultry and smoky. So I always like to drag out the color however far I want it. And then with the makeup wipe, I always go in and clean it up so it could be nice and sharp. So I don't mind it being like messy right now, especially since we decided to do eyes first and then we'll do our foundation. Yes, but this is kind of the exact way I wanted the eye to turn out. Going back into the Jeffree Star palette, I'm going to grab Self-Made again on my Wet n Wild brush and go back and kind of blend out the color a little better and make sure that there is no choppiness with the blending. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted. I was going through my makeup and I found this Cover FX Shimmer Veil. Now this is like a pinky kind of champagne-y color. It's in the shade Soleil. So I feel like I can grab this, put it right on my lid, and it will look nice and pretty. So it is on a doe foot applicator, kind of like it's like the Stila Magnificent Metals, except this one is more of like a true doe foot on my Jeffree Star mirror. Shout out to you, Brooklyn. Thank you. I almost want to like cut my crease with this, but let's see. Oh yeah, see, that's really pretty and really blinding. I love these kind of glitters because you can really just go like right in. Especially like good quality, like Cover FX or like Stila. You really get like good quality glitter with opacity, not just like a topper. I'm gonna keep my eye closed while this dries a little bit. I'm gonna take my JH40 brush, dip that into Sweet a little bit, and blend these colors together so there's no harsh lines. I'm gonna take this little pencil brush. It has no brand because I bought it at Macy's for like $2. I'm going to take this little pencil brush, dip into Self-Made, and kind of blend this line just slightly. Okay, so actually that completely dried, so I can't move it. So that's just going to be the eye look. That looks really pretty on camera. Alright, so like I was saying, I'm going to take my Clinique Take the Day Off wipe, wrap it around my finger, and I'm going to clean up that edge. Make it nice and sharp, just like that. I don't want it too sharp, so I'm going to take a little bit of the shadow and just blend out the edge. Now that I have the eye look like I want it, I'm going to quickly do the other eye off camera, put on some liner, a lash, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now we have both eyes done. We have our brows, we have lashes on, and we're ready for the rest of the face. Now, since it is Valentine's Day, you're probably going to want this look to last all day. So I'm going to grab my all-nighter gripping primer. I'm going to take 2 pumps of that and apply it to the face. Now that we have primer, it's time for foundation. Of course, long wearing. So I want to use my Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 300. Of course, put on my beauty blender. Before I apply the foundation, I'm going to spray my beauty blender with the all-nighter setting spray. Now, this is going to help, of course, lock in the foundation because you're actually pressing it in and setting it. So I'm just going to... I don't want this look to be very, very full coverage. I still want it to look nice and natural, which is why I chose the Fenty Beauty because it's very like medium buildable. Now at first this looks too light, but this oxidizes to literally my perfect shade. So I don't know how this is reading on camera, but in real life, this is literally like my perfect shade. Like, it doesn't look like I'm wearing anything. Now I'm just going to take a little bit more and kind of focus it in some troubled areas. I feel like on camera, this is reading a little light, but I promise this matches me in real life, so that's all that matters. After that, I'm going to take the concealer we used as our primer, the Stay Naked Concealer in 50 WY. I'm just going to put a little bit under the eye. And buff this out. So I do want this under eye to be nice and highlighted. And we are achieving that with this concealer very easily. Of course, to avoid any flashback, we're going to go into our trusty Laura Mercier powder and set the under eye with this. Now I have a cap full of Laura Mercier, but before I apply this, I'm going to spray my beauty blender with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and then I'm going to kind of tap off the excess, dipping into my powder, coating that. Then I'm going to set. The thing that I love about this Urban Decay concealer is it does not crease. I have such an issue with creasing, and I do not get that with the Urban Decay concealer at all. The Laura Mercier powder is the best powder, really. Although I have found some good powders in the past. I want to do like a ranking powder video. Let me know if y'all would like that. Leave me a comment down below. So now I'm going to set the rest of my face with the Laura Mercier powder. Again, I'm just going to spray the bottom of my beauty blender, grab the powder, and then just start setting the rest of my face. Yes, now we're looking nice and soft and blurred. Now that we've set our face with the Laura Mercier powder, we're going to go into more powder. I'm going to grab the Clinique Beyond Perfecting powder and use that for a little bit more coverage on top, and of course to add a little bit more color back into the skin. I'm just going to grab this Tarte foundation brush here and kind of just... I'm going to apply this everywhere on the face, avoiding the under eye area because I want that to stay nice and bright. Alrighty, now we're done with that. Before we move on to the rest of the face, let's smoke out this lower lash line. For the lower lash line, I'm going to grab my Marc Jacobs smudger brush, and I'm going to take the Morphe palette first, grab into, what was this shade called? Sweet Beets, and smoke my lower lash line with this. Using the JH40 from earlier, I'm going to dip back into Sweet Beets and further smoke out the lash line. With our Wet n Wild brush, I'm going to slightly dip into the Morphe Jeffree Star palette and ever so slightly graze right under the Sweet Beet shade. Just ever so slightly. And then we have a smoky eye. Now let's repeat on the other side. So pretty. Now we have our lash line smoked out. I'm going to throw a little bit of liner in my waterline. I'm going to go ahead and use my trusty Perversion eye pencil. So for this look, you could have gone with like a white liner, like nice nude liner, but I love the sultriness that like a black liner gives to like a really like colorful look like this. So I went with black. Before we move on to the rest of the face, I'm going to take my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray and just set. So at first, I was not about these little handheld fans. So actually, this isn't even a handheld fan. This is a stand-up fan that I bought at Dollar Tree for $1, of course. And it works exactly the same. I'm not about to spend no $15 on those little Amazon fans. But I was not about it at first until I like actually used it for my setting spray, and it's life-changing. Highly recommend. Go to your local Dollar Tree. Find that. For bronzer, nothing new. I'm going to go into my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer, my absolute fave. Now I'm just going to use this big old fluffy brush. Actually, it's right in front of me. Again, this is a nameless brush that I bought at Macy's for like $2. We're just going to bronze the face. Give Me Sun bronzer has been my go-to for years. Now, sometimes, like, when you first get this bronzer, it is dark. Like, you have to, like, go through a couple layers of this bronzer before you really, like, can be comfortable with it. Even for, like, my kind of skin tone, sometimes it's a little dark on me, like, when you first, like, buy it. You kind of have to, like, get through that first, like, couple layers to get, like, the full color. Now, with this one I've had for so long, you can see that it's just, like, busted. Then I'm just going to take my little Artis, what is this called? my Artis Oval 4 brush, and I'm just going to dip ever so slightly and just contour my nose. God, this brush is so good. Like, yeah, see? That is like the brush for a nose contour for sure. Got a little carried away, so I'm just going to take my beauty blender, of course, and just tap that out. Don't you just love beauty blenders? They're like your magic eraser. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what we would have done without... Well, actually, at this point, there's so many sponges that you don't really need a beauty blender, but still my favorite. For blush, I was going through like my palettes and stuff, and I found this PUR. It's the... What is this called? It's called Celebrate Your Selfie, so it's got all this little confetti in there. And it has the shape of a little 16. So this is for their 16th anniversary. And on the side here, it has these cute blushes and highlighter. So I'm going to take these two blushes and mix them. I'm just going to go on my Lancome blush brush. And I'm going to take these two shades here, which are called Flirty and Snatch. Both of them look like they have a little bit of glitter or... oh, that is very pigmented. They have like a sheen to them. So I'm just going to... lightly pat that into the skin. Oop, maybe. We're gonna go, so as y'all know, I'm not a very blushy person. Blush is not my fave, it's just not it for me. But today, let's go a little bit more blushy. It is Valentine's Day, after all. Oh my god, I feel like that's, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I just like do not live for the way I look with blush on. It's just like not it for me. So I'm just gonna take my beauty blender again and just tap that out. I can definitely work with that. Now I kind of want to use, since I already have this out, I kind of want to use this highlighter here because it looks like it has a little bit of like, maybe not. I was gonna say it looks a little pinky, but I think that's like a, oh no, yeah, that definitely has, okay, is that, hello? Like coming up on camera? I don't know. But it does have a little bit of pinkiness to it. So I'm just going to take my JH9 brush and dip into... See, this is... I like the concept of this, but this is just like, hello, like, I am here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just... Ooh. And I do have a little bit of breakout there, so I'm going to avoid that at all costs. Ooh, that's really pretty. I was like, ooh, that's really pretty. Is that really on camera? I hope it is. This is like a... PUR has another highlighter. It's like more of like a rich, like yellow gold highlighter, and it is amazing. I want to get my hands on that, but I haven't been able to. I was trying to find a smaller brush to highlight my brow bone, but I'm just literally gonna go and just hit it right there. Yeah, that works. Ugh, that is so pretty. This is such a pretty highlighter. So I feel like I have to keep this out just for... Can I take... No, I can't. I was going to say, if I could take the... Maybe I'm going to have to like depot this or something because I just like don't love like this concept. Like these eyeshadows are really pretty too. All these right here are like pressed glitters. And I feel like PUR was one of like the first ones that I saw in the market that had like a pressed glitter. This came out, I don't remember when this came out, I think like 2 years ago. And ever since I've seen this, like there's so many pressed glitters on the market at this point. I didn't highlight my inner corner, so I'm going to take this Morphe Morphe M138 brush, which is just a little pencil brush. Back into the Morphe Jeffree Star shade and grab this shade 2, which is like a very icy pink shade, which I think, of course, is going to complement That's super pretty. Ooh, that's super pretty. I love that. I might even just hit a little bit of that on my brow bone. Oh yeah. Love that. Now, all we need is a nice lip. So we do have our eyes, kind of the main attraction of the face, so we can go a little bit softer on the lips. So there's probably going to be some activities involved since it is Valentine's Day, so I would recommend using a matte liquid lipstick. So I kind of want to try on this. This is Stila's Patina. I want to see if this is going to be too pale or clash with the eye look. I'm going to try this on, and if I don't like it, I'll just wipe it off and try a different color. Okay, so I don't completely hate the lip, but I'm not in love with it either, especially with this eye look. I feel like I need some gloss or something. I'm not living for it, honestly. Like, maybe if I had just like a little bit, maybe if it had this like a little bit more brown. Still not completely happy with that, so I'm going to take a little bit of my Kylie Cupcake gloss and just put a little bit right there. Do I like that? I almost feel like I don't like this whole lip together, so I'm actually gonna take it all off. I'm just so picky when it comes to lipsticks. Like, I don't like anything. I almost like just putting like a gloss on. Like, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take my trusty Colourpop Princess Cut lip gloss and just literally put that on. See, doesn't that just like look so pretty? Like, it looks very glossy, very juicy, but there's no color to it, and there's just like that's just the color of my lips. So easy to do. Like, I can even just take a little bit of this Kylie gloss, just do a little bit of that. And that's just about as much color as I would want in this look anyway. And there you go, guys. We're completely date night ready for Valentine's Day. Now, of course, the last and most important step in this to make this last through all of Valentine's Day is to set it with, of course, Urban Decay All Nighter. And, of course, we're going to grab our little fan. Yo, this, like, really works. Like, honestly, like, you need this. And there you go, guys. The look is complete. Date night ready. I love the way the eyes turned out. Honestly, I want to be playing with more colors lately. Like, even though this is really simple to do, like just a pink eyes. That doesn't sound great. A really pretty pink eye with some glitter in the middle. It's just very simple to do, very user friendly. Of course, you can always just throw a lash on. I want something a little bit more lightweight instead of something a little bit heavier like I usually like. It's just as simple as putting on a gloss on too. So guys, let me know what y'all think about the look. What are y'all gonna do for Valentine's Day? Are you single? Do you have a significant other? Tell me in the comments below. What are like your favorite Valentine's Day activities? Do you just like going out to eat? Do you like eating? I mean, whatever activities y'all like to do. I'm not gonna say nothing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Of course, I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos. I'm very excited. Like I was saying, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the things for me, please. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.